We particularly love Wednesdays around here because we get to see Mike Giordano with Mike on the Money. Mike is with Williams Wealth Management, and I love that you are running a household. You and your wife, Melissa, have beautiful children. And so we're talking about running your household kind of like you run a business. There's a lot to manage. You've got the house, you've got the kids, you've got the finances, and especially when the house, you've got a big investment right there. So let's talk about getting everybody on the same page financially, which is pretty important. I know sometimes we tend to say, no, he handles the finances or she handles the finances, but why is it important, Mike, that everybody's in on what's happening with the finances?
Well, it helps you make the best use of the money. But you're right, Jane, in that in every household, some people are really good at certain areas. I mean, my wife's a great cook. I like doing the dishes. There's something satisfying about having all the silverware lined up, right? I know in your house.
You can divide and conquer like that.
Yeah, it just feels good. I mean, in your house, both of you guys are great cooks, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll say that.
So, yeah, I mean, everybody has their own things that they're really, really interested and passionate and their own skills. And so it's natural that one person may be really more interested and skilled with money. And so it tends to sometimes go to one person. But what's really helpful about bringing everybody into it is that everybody can then be on the same page in terms of using the money towards the things that you really want to spend the money on.
So how do you start setting those same goals? How do you have those conversations about what that should be?
Yeah, so you want to think big. You want to think really big, not overwhelming the person by thinking big, but you want to think big from the standpoint of start with your goals. This is stuff we talk to clients about all the time, which is the first thing you want to think about is what are your goals? This is the exciting part, right? This is the big canvas. You start, putting up all those happy trees like Bob Ross. And so this is the fun stuff. And even people that don't like the numbers and everything can get on board with the big fun stuff. And so once you get their aspirations going, you get the juices flowing, they start getting excited about things. Now you can get people going.
Okay. Not fun stuff, those numbers.
Yeah, those
What's the best way to handle the dreaded numbers?
The dreaded numbers, the best way to handle it is still to think big about the dreaded numbers. Okay. So what's wonderful today is that there's all kinds of software. Your credit card companies offer it. Your bank usually has it. They'll break down all of your spending in a whole bunch of different categories. So you don't have to get all in the weeds early on. The first thing to do is just look at where's the spending going? It's amazing how you can look at this stuff and go, wow, we spend this much money on insurance. This is how much money we spend on our home. This is how much money
Netflix is going up.
Exactly. You're looking at all this stuff,
right.
Groceries. So I think it's really helpful to get a look at the big picture, where all the money's going. And so the person that's not really interested in the finances that much, if they start seeing this stuff, then they can start having an appreciation for, oh, this is why we have to save money, or this is why the discretionary money might not be as large as you think.
Hearing you talk about it and seeing your enthusiasm, maybe there's a way to bring some enthusiasm in for the person who doesn't care so much about this. How often do you need to sit down together and have these kind of discussions and kind of keep the enthusiasm running?
Well, I'm obsessed with this stuff, Jane.
Right.
So I would say every couple hours we need to have these conversations. No,
I don't think Melissa agrees on that.
Absolutely not. She hates this stuff, right? But the point here is that you want to your finances are constantly changing. Your lives are changing. It's very dynamic. There are job changes. There are changes in the size of your family. All kinds of different changes that are happening. And so it's really important that you're constantly looking at this stuff, because even for someone like myself who looks at it a lot, you still miss things sometimes. You're like, wow, I didn't realize we spent that much money on health insurance, or this is how much our auto insurance is now. And so by having the regular conversations, you avoid any kind of big blow-ups over, I really want to spend money on this, and I can't because you're telling me we don't have the money. And when you actually start seeing it, then all of a sudden you can start saying, oh, I get why we have to budget, or I get why it's important to do these things, because we have these big picture goals that we really want to accomplish.
And honestly, and I'm not even making a joke about this, you can save a lot of money on divorces or marriage counseling if you sit, because money is a big issue in relationships.
Without a question.
So if you can do this right, you're going to have a happier marriage, probably.
Without question. So you just, I said start big, but just start the conversation, get it going, and then you'll start finding, the places where you agree.
Excellent. Mike Giordano, it's always great to be with you.
Marriage counselors.
Exactly. You can save some money there.